Sonic Generations is like a comfort food for me. No matter how many times I play this game, I always walk away with a smile on my face. The story itself is probably one of the weaker parts of the game, because it's just a foil for the game to follow. Like, oh, Eggman, he's messing with time or whatnot, who cares? Let's get on with the actual good parts. And let me tell you, there's a lot of good parts to this game, in my opinion. There are multiple levels throughout Sonic's history in this game. You've got Green Hill Zone in Sonic 1, Chemical Plant Zone in Sonic 2, Sky Sanctuary in Sonic 3 and Knuckles, Speed Highway in Sonic Adventure, City Escape from Sonic Adventure 2, Seaside Hill from Sonic Heroes, Crisis City from Sonic 06, Rooftop Run in Sonic Unleashed, and Planet Wisp from Sonic Colors. Not to mention that, there's also the boss stages such as the Death Egg Robot from Sonic 2, Metal Sonic from Sonic CD, Perfect Chaos from Sonic Adventure, Shadow the Hedgehog from Sonic Adventure 2, Silver the Hedgehog from Sonic 06, and the Egg Dragoon from Sonic Unleashed. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention as well, on top of all of these amazing levels, there's of course these little side missions which they have you play, and you don't have to play all of them, and honestly your mileage may vary on how much you enjoy some of them. Some of them are really quite fun, and others are really a tedious trek, but because they're all largely optional, you do have to play like a few, but you get to pick which ones. And of course, if you do enjoy the game, then it gives you even more to play. One other bonus thing though, only on the console versions if memory serves correct, it's on the 360, I don't remember if it's on the PS3 version, but it's definitely not on the PC version, was a fully playable version of Sonic 1. And unfortunately, it seems that at some point I started my Xbox 360 save over again, so I don't even have the Mega Drive version unlocked. But yeah, that was a nice little bonus given it was an anniversary game, and it's strange to see them take it out. It really does have a wide range of different levels throughout Sonic's history, as this was an anniversary game when it first came out. Not to mention the several references that are made throughout the game. It feels like a genuine love letter to the series, good and bad. As much as people may dunk on the way classic Sonic was incorporated into a game like Sonic Forces, which will include me, we'll get into that eventually, this is where it all made a whole lot of sense. Because as you're playing through the game, one Sonic will have you reminiscing about the good old times that you enjoyed when you first played those original games, and then the other Sonic will have you experiencing those levels in a whole new light. Now you might have noticed that I didn't say which Sonic in particular, and that's because it changes as the game goes on. In the early stages, of course, you'll be enjoying getting to experience Green Hill Zone, Chemical Plant Zone, Sky Sanctuary in HD with classic Sonic. He doesn't control one-to-one, which I know will definitely ruffle some feathers, but he controls fine enough in my opinion, and getting to experience these levels remastered and remixed in their own special way was just something that I really enjoyed at the time. And then of course once you switch over to modern Sonic, it takes a whole new life as you get to experience these levels like they've never been seen before. Getting to witness Green Hill Zone and Chemical Plant Zone in particular were huge in my opinion. I absolutely adored getting to see these sights like I could only picture when I was little. Then of course as it starts taking form into the more modern Sonic games, you get to see the likes of City Escape and Rooftop Run from classic Sonic's perspective, as it ends up being this whole new thing, as now you gotta run from the truck in 2D, and I just love the creativeness of this whole venture. And of course, blasting through it as modern Sonic is so much fun. They're personally my favourite levels, the modern Sonic ones, because when you have everything together, blasting through them in just a couple minutes is so much fun. The weakest levels, in my opinion, I thought were going to be the Crisis City ones, because they absolutely do whatever they can to really throw you off in those levels, but I feel the Planet Wisp ones are my least favourite because they tend to drag just a little bit longer than I'd like. But overall, each of these levels is an absolute treat. And then there's the boss fights, which are a weaker part of the game. Not terrible, as oftentimes the spectacle of seeing the Death Egg Robot, or Perfect Chaos, or the Egg Dragoon make up for it in certain ways, but oftentimes these bosses are way too easy. I feel like the hard mode that you unlock after beating the boss should have been the default personally. Though that might also be because I've beaten the game so many times, like, it probably stands to reason why I would be just destroying the game. The Time Eater part is definitely the weakest boss fight of all. It drags on for just too long, and it's just not that fun. That's definitely a weak ending to an otherwise exceptional game, because even in its weaker moments, this game can be a lot of fun. In fact, while getting footage from this game, I remember thinking, oh great, I've got to get footage from the Casino Night Zone pinball stage, don't I? That's so lame, I never enjoy this part. But I played through it, and I enjoyed it way more this time than I've ever enjoyed it before. It's crazy, but I really do love this game. The gameplay throughout, in my opinion, is brilliant. Classic Sonic may not be perfect, but it's plenty good in its own right. It's still a lot of fun to blast through those stages, and the modern Sonic stages are some of the best that I feel that boost gameplay ever had. As for the graphics, for the most part, they've aged exceptionally well. I think back to the likes of Wind Waker, for instance, where, sure, if you look real close, you can see areas where maybe it's aged a little bit, but for the most part, the game has aged exceptionally well. The character models in particular should be noted because they have aged stunningly well. Like, these still look amazing. In terms of graphics and performance, there was some weird hiccups on my PC. I'm actually beginning to think my PC might be too fast for Sonic Generations. During my time on Speed Highway, camera angle for classic Sonic seemed to get a bit weird at times, and there was a bit of pop-in here and there, but never too often for it to really ruin the experience. Now, this is a game that I've played on every platform that I could get my hands on. I've played it on Xbox 360, I've played it on PS3, I've played it on PC, and I've even got the 3DS version, though that'll be for another time. This is one of my favourite games of all time. It's fun to play, it looks great, the music with so many great remixes, some that you can even unlock and put on the levels, classic versions of the music as well if you want the OG versions. There's so much to listen to in Sonic Generations. There were so many times where I'd play this game and I would just sit back and listen to the soundtrack, replace the levels music with one of the tracks that I just unlocked. It was a lot of fun. Without a doubt, Sonic Generations is one of my favourite Sonic games of all time, and without a doubt, one of my favourite games of all time. It's something that I keep coming back to every so often, and I still have so much fun with it, even after all this time. I always think I'm going to get tired of it, but it's just a fun, bite-sized experience. I beat it in like 3 hours nowadays, so it's not exactly an especially long title, so I'd recommend getting it on a sale if you do get it, or getting it second-hand if you want a console version. But overall, I can't recommend this game highly enough. Sonic Generations is a truly great experience, and I think any Sonic fan should give it a go.
Hey Sonic! Enjoy your future! It's gonna be great!
The Sonic games are actually pretty good. The internet's just mean.